Shona, thank you so much for joining us here today. Everybody in the course has already gotten to read the case study about Shonaquip and the incredible work that you've done. And there's so many parts of your story that I find valuable and inspiring. Something I think would be really helpful for students would be to understand what it was like for you to go from, over the years, a desire to build one specific thing, to serve one specific person, and then have that grow from one all the way into a huge organization that serves so many. Can you talk a little bit about that process and sort of the steps and the mental adjustments you had to make going along as you went from, I'm building things for Shelley, for one person, but then actually what I'm doing could be helpful in a much broader way?
When you're faced with all sorts of challenges around what decision to make, especially in a hybrid social enterprise where there's the financial pull and there's the purpose, and they're constantly conflicting with each other. I mean, the drive is to make the sales, to drive profit, to be able to ensure your sustainability. But if you compromise while you're doing it, in order to achieve that, then you undermine your own purpose. So this constant conflict, I suppose it's the key for me has been always to revert back to the reason why I started. And every day I'm reminded why I'm doing this.
So then, can you give us a little bit of a summary as to how things have shifted and where you'd like to see things go now?
I think things just organically grew year after year after year, and I never really worried about anything other than meeting the demand and making sure that we were doing it in the best possible way. And then suddenly in 2010, government order cycles broke, everything sort of stopped. And we needed to really reassess what we were doing, why we were doing it. And I think the big lesson I learned through that process was how quickly things can break and how little you know when you're running an organization and how long it takes to fix it. So those have been really the last 4 or 5 years experience for me.
So in for-profit, just strictly for-profit enterprises, there's often conversations, even at the very beginning, about exits. What's your exit strategy? Where will this go eventually? Do you think that is an appropriate question for a social enterprise? And in your own context, in your own story, is that something that you've ever thought about? And to clarify, I mean, I think there's the personal journey aspect of it. As a social entrepreneur, what comes next for an individual that starts something beautiful in the world to serve other people? Where do they go after a certain point? But also for the organization, is there a point at which you see sort of, again, an exit for the actual entity?
I think within my personal journey, there's most definitely an exit. And there has been a great evolution in terms of my role. When I started, I was doing everything from designing the products, making the products, collecting the parts, testing them, fitting the children, training the caregivers, lobbying with government, writing the policy. It was a very holistic role. And slowly, as the organization has developed, we've brought more and more people in with expertise and skills quite far superior to mine, which enabled me then to separate myself slowly and in some instances quite painfully into a more strategic role, and one that's focused more on the innovation, the design, and overseeing how both entities work together and support each other and follow their true purpose in line with sort of our organizational aims.
Is there something that you wish you would have done differently along your own journey?
I'm often very envious. I mentor quite a number of young entrepreneurs and social entrepreneurs, and I'm so envious of their education. I just think sometimes when people have had exposure to working in business and had a really good background in a specific skill or training, that they are so much more prepared for some of the challenges that I think I struggled with, people management, the basic skills. I mean, just simple things like I taught myself to type. I've never used a computer before. I'm dyslexic. So, yeah, I think if I'd had a chance to have a different life, I would have made sure that I somehow had a better grounding in my education. But, no, I think you just live and learn by your mistakes, and those mistakes make you stronger and teach you new lessons. And I don't think I've changed much.
This is the last interview that we'll have, but we'll have a wrap-up session in a minute. So see you soon.